Hey YouTube, I just ran into last night a little website. It talks about longevity and life extension and all that good stuff. And I'm not really into a lot of that kind of thing, but it did have a really cool top 10 list. And as you know me, I like lists. And so this was a top 10 important things in life list. Now, I was actually doing a keyword search on what people believe to be the top 10 things in life. And as you can imagine, there's a whole laundry list of variables here. Some people put things that I wouldn't consider my top 10, like music and things like that, that may be important for a lot of people. And I'm not knocking that at all, but I'm talking about just what the top 10 are, like the real 10. Like, for at least for me, it would include a lot of frivolous things. And so maybe this might be a little bit generic, but I didn't really think so at all. I think this list was very good. And it was, to me, the closest that I thought that I found after a few hours of searching for a top 10 list, because there's a lot of them, that this seemed to be more universal for most people. Of course, you may want to substitute one or two out for something else. And you may want to change the order because these are in order from the most important to the least, at least within the top 10. So they're all important. But I just thought it was interesting how this was laid out. And it does have a lot of implications for preppers because it really highlights preparedness as part of this. And you'll see, especially on number 5, I think it really speaks directly about preparedness, and I think it also talks about skills and knowledge in number 10 and so forth. And you'll kind of pick it up probably how it could actually correlate to prepping as a lifestyle. So let's get into it. Number 1, which is going to be obviously the most important, is health and longevity. No doubt, if you're not healthy, you're not going to have the same means if you are healthy. So we all definitely need to be in the healthiest state possible. Number 2 is freedom. Obviously, if we're not able to move about and to seek out our dreams, then the quality of life is diminished. Number 3 is relationships. Yeah, it's really hard to be a loner or to be by yourself and try to grow, because a lot of times growth is based off of bouncing ideas off of others and building off each other. And by doing that, we kind of build each other up. The next thing would be 4 would be self-esteem. It's amazing, though, how critical that is. And there's multi-parts to self-esteem. In particular, it's that belief that we can acquire what we want to acquire and that we have the right to have what we want to have. Now, it's not to be misconstrued as like some ego trip or a materialistic type of approach here. This is just simply saying that you have value and you have worth that demeans anything else, and that you are the most important thing in your life. And so while that might sound self-serving, on some level, if we don't respect ourselves and hold ourselves as the highest priority, then we disrespect ourselves. Now, there's a lot of people who would say, wow, you wouldn't sacrifice your life for a loved one and stuff. No, you may do that. I mean, that would be a horrible situation, but it's not saying that you're not someone that could be, I don't want to use the word martyr, but maybe that's what it is. There are people who are very giving of themselves, literally to death. Think about soldiers. They go into battle knowing that they could be killed. Or police officers or firefighters that do die in the line of duty pretty much on a regular basis. And while there's other more dangerous professions than that, there are some that are more self-serving than others. But ultimately, though, when we come back down to ego and self-esteem, it's about how much you hold in value of who you are. And that's a big deal when we talk about prepping. If you're not sure of yourself, and if you don't know why you're prepping, and if you don't believe that you can prep, then you're probably not going to succeed very well. The next thing is comfort, including financial security. Now, when I said earlier number 5, this is number 5. And this to me, if you want to have comfort and a sense of security, then prepping is the way to go. I mean, there's just no way around it. So I thought to myself, being prepared would fit really well with this one. Number 6, intimacy and human contact. We are social creatures. And while in this modern day and age, we are more separated in a lot of ways than we used to be because of technology, at least physically. But it doesn't denote that we don't have a need that's physical. And so there's a lot of people that their balance in their life is thrown off because they don't have the contact. They don't have that human touch. And it could be as simple as a hug or more, but depending on what you need is by that very nature a need. And so if you don't satisfy your needs, you typically have an imbalance. And it'll show up in other parts of your life, And so there may be frustration or anger that you don't know where it's coming from, but maybe it's just because you don't have the closeness to other people and that human contact that you need. Number 7, peace. Man, sometimes having peace in your life can be an actual real struggle. In fact, there's some people who have to just literally start over in their life because there is no peace. Sometimes it's self-made, the problems in our life. Sometimes it just comes to us. And regardless of how it is, peace is so important if you're going to be in a position that you can find clarity and be in a state of true growth. It's very hard in a very chaotic, fear-based condition to try to better yourself or try to learn new things. It's more difficult when in a peaceful time, when you're settled and you're clear, headed and you're focused, you're much more productive. Number 8, fitness and weight management. And once again, this goes back to number 1 in some ways about health. Fitness, though, just gives us a whole means of going to that extra next level of enjoying our life. Being able to do what we want to do and not be hindered by poor health or limitations. Now, some of us do have physical limitations. Some of us have health problems. Some of us struggle with issues. And I am the same way. I mean, we're all human. Some of us just get on with it a little bit easier than others. Some of us have things that hold us back and that we have much more of a struggle to work through. And this is part of the human condition. This is something that we all have to deal with. And so we have to find unique ways to not let our limitations keep us from living our life. And that's a big challenge. Number 9, following your passion. I think this is also very applicable that if you want, especially as a prepper, to have redundancy and peace of mind, going back to number 7, you have to follow that drive, that passion to get things done, to go to that next level, to be the example that you want to see in to begin with. There's a lot of times people see deficiencies in cultures or in your community, and they go, wow, we don't have this capability as a group of people. And I don't want that to be anymore. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to add that capability. And it's because of people's introspection, inwardly and outwardly, that things can get changed. And you follow your passion, that can allow you to make that change. Number 10, self-development. Now, this is really where I thought about a lot of the prepping skills and knowledge can fit in this one. Development is just that. It's something that changes over time and hopefully for the better because you're growing as an individual and you're not dying, but you're doing the opposite, and that's life. That's growing. If you don't grow, you are dying. And so we have to be always aware of what things allow us to grow and what things keep us at bay. And so as preppers, we want to use all these 10 things, which I think are a pretty good outline. Yes, you could substitute or change the wording on a few of them, but I think it's a pretty good generic outline for 10 things that really are high up on the list in terms of what's important to humans in general. What do you think about this? Thanks for watching.